Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular board meeting of Dundee Township for February 18, 2026. I call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day.
Here.
Trustee Drake.
Here.
Trustee Fixmer.
Here.
Trustee Harney.
Here.
Supervisor Shaw.
Here. Thank you. We now have a quorum. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Every time I do the pledge anywhere else, I think of that now.
Next portion of our meeting will be public comment. We ask that you come forward and state your name and your last name. And under township policy, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak today?
James Gold.
Good evening. James Gould, longtime township resident. I want to cry. I just want to cry. 2 meetings in a row, Supervisor Shaw, you nominated unqualified candidates to the 708 board, and the township board has unanimously voted them down. That's why I want to cry. First, at the hurt being done to our neighbors who are losing out on mental health services because the 708 board is effectively shut down. Second, at the injustice being done to township voters who want and are willing to fund a strong 708 board. And third, in my generous moments, at the humiliation you are doing to yourself. I believed your campaign promise that you wanted to help others, to listen and serve, to improve mental health programs. I voted for you. I want you to be successful. But instead, you've lost all public respect and confidence. That is sad to see. The Declaration of Independence states a core American principle. Elected officials from Washington to Dundee Township derive their power from the consent of the governed. The founders entrusted political power to citizens, not a king. But Supervisor, you're turning democracy into autocracy. I urge you to heed the wisdom of George Washington. It has always been my earnest desire to learn and to comply with the public sentiment. I'll repeat that. Elected representatives should learn and comply with public sentiment. Supervisor, you know the public sentiment. The voters want a high-quality 708 board. The township board wants that. You yourself said you wanted that. You've learned the public sentiment, but you refuse to comply with it. Your unqualified nominees are opposed by voters, by service agencies, by the township board, by everyone except you. And yet you stubbornly insist that you know best. That's not leadership, it's mismanagement. When your own township board is not only unanimously against you on policy matters, but also alienated from you personally, then something has gone dreadfully wrong. I'm grateful that you board members have chosen to resist in the name of local democracy. Thank you.
Y'all can hear me okay at this level? In case there are people who are feeling sensitive to certain topics tonight, I want to let you know that I will be talking about suicide and gun violence. My grandfather shot himself in the head and committed suicide, and my grandmother drank herself to death. I've had multiple family members attempt suicide and fail, thank God. And the first time I had suicidal ideation, I was 12 years old. Hurt people hurt people. I know we've all heard that before, and it's true. And And what we need is compassion and empathy and a place where we can go to heal our emotional wounds. I would not be here today if it wasn't for the work that I did with mental health professionals to learn how to live and cope in contemporary society. If you are lucky enough to have lived on this earth without experiencing addiction, depression, anxiety, violence, or suicide, I'm truly jealous of you. What we don't need are shenanigans and stalling to prevent this board from being approved with qualified professionals who do not have a history of roadblocking access to mental health. You keep proposing the same names and the trustees are never going to approve these people. Please choose new people. Otherwise, this comes across as you getting paid to do nothing. Without access to mental health professionals, you're leaving that 12-year-old girl alone to contemplate suicide. And we as a community leave a 20-year-old who's addicted to social media and video gaming alone to clean their guns and write the names of past mass shooters on bullet casings. And we forget about the 60-year-old who dedicated their life to a career that was cut short as they struggle to find their new place in the world. All it takes is for one person to have one bad day to create waves of emotional trauma that echo through generations. Eckhart Tolle says, the time is now. Our community is hurting and we need your help, and this is your opportunity. Thank you.
Heather Current. Thank you for your words. Hi, good evening, Supervisor Shaw and trustees. My name is Heather Corrins. I am here as a Carpentersville resident and a member of the Mental Health Board. I'm here tonight because I'm genuinely concerned about the 3 open seats on our board and the very real impact that those vacancies are having on our ability to serve this community. On December 16th, at a special meeting, we interviewed 3 candidates, Dawn, Amber, and Michelle. After thoughtful discussion, we agreed all 3 were qualified and a strong fit for the open positions. We did not ask about political affiliation. We did not find any conflicts of interest. We focused on experience, professionalism, and commitment to public service. We were not given any additional letters of interest to consider at the meeting, despite requesting any and all letters submitted. So it was confusing and discouraging to later see appointments made on individuals whose letters had not been provided to the board during our interview process and who do not have the professional experience in mental health. I reached out for clarification to Supervisor Shaw via email on January 26th and never received a response. This is not about politics. It's about governance, transparency, and respect for process. Right now, our board is struggling to function. We've had meetings that could not proceed because we did not have a quorum. I've left my children at home during dinner and bedtime to attend meetings that ultimately could not happen. Our service providers who are doing critical mental health work in the township were taking away time from their own responsibilities to present updates only to be sent home without being heard. That is irresponsible, unprofessional, disheartening, and it's not fair to the community. The Mental Health Board oversees public funds, is responsible for protecting confidential information and ensuring compliance with grantees. I'm currently the only member with a professional license in a related field. We need qualified professionals at the table to ensure that we're operating responsibly and in compliance with the law. The township deserves a stable, functioning mental health board focused on serving residents, not stalled by vacancies and unanswered questions. I'm asking respectfully that the qualified candidates the mental health board recommended be appointed so we can move forward and get back to the important work our community depends on. Thank you. Ray Auger.
Thank you, Township Supervisor and Trustees, for the opportunity to speak. My name is Ray Auger. I'm from Algonquin, and I'm also a member of the Mental Health Board. Earlier today, I sent you a letter expressing my feelings and opinions on the subject. I'll read it here with a little bit of extra information that I want to add. So, It states Supervisor Shaw, trustees Drake, Harney, Dixomer, and Day. Since December 31st of 2025, the Dundee Township Mental Health Board is without 3 members. This leaves the number of board members at 4. And it requires all 4 members to be present in order to have a quorum and conduct business of the Mental Health Board. Our January 15th, 12th regular meetings and the January 29th special meeting have been canceled due to a lack of quorum, preventing the board from addressing the business of the Mental Health Board. Most importantly of which is paying bills, completing the steps needed to issue the 2026 grants that fund services to Dundee Township residents, and the hiring of an administrative coordinator to lead our group into the future. The township not appointing the additional members is one cause for the lack of a quorum at the Mental Health Board meetings. Addressing these vacancies tonight would alleviate that roadblock by having more than the minimum of 4 members that we currently have. I cannot speak to the concerns of the supervisor and trustees as to the various applicants and their reasons for not approving any of them. But I do ask the supervisor and trustees to work together tonight to find a compromise to ensure that the 3 vacancies are filled. A couple points that I want to add in addition to what I wrote to you tonight is, while we did receive 3 of the applications, we did not receive all of them, and we've not been able to review the other applications that were submitted at any of our meetings. So we are not able to provide you any input on the other candidates that have applied. So keep in mind that there were 6 candidates that applied. The other point that I want to make is, in my experience in industry, good teams have diverse perspectives. And while the Community Mental Health Board gives sway to people who have mental health board background, I think it's equally important to have the input from residents who maybe are not, do not have those qualifications, but yet are seeking the best interest of the residents of the township. So for that, I ask you to consider the broad pool of 6 candidates and not narrow your focus to the 3 that were there. Thank you.
Good evening. It's terrific to hear from my former colleagues in the Mental Health Board, Mr. Auger, Ms. Corns, and certainly Trustee Harney. She hasn't spoken yet, but I know she says a lot when she does, and she has in the last 2 meetings. And I tell you, it was sure interesting to see Supervisor Shaw with the 4th member of the Mental Health Board on a radio show interview on WRMN late last week. There's a new buzzword going around. It's called balance. And I'm not sure what balance really means when Joe Connell or Supervisor Shaw says that. As Ms. Corns just brought up, the board's out of balance. She's the only certified mental health professional on the board out of 7 positions. Supervisor Shaw, if you do the right thing tonight by appointing Amber Cotter and Dawn Arimura to the 4-year terms that end January 31st, 2030, as well as appointing Dr. Michelle Wright to the unexpired 2-year term that ends December 31st, 2027, you will correct that imbalance effectively. And the Mental Health Board can move forward and hiring the new administrative coordinator, eminently qualified, refined by the fire of Cook County Mental Health Board. Development and success. We need those members to be appointed, and the trustees need to do the advice and consent. Please do it tonight. Don't walk out of here without a full mental health board. It all starts with you, Supervisor Shaw. The board is out of balance. They're not in the balance I think you and the other member were talking about. The board's out of balance of mental health professionals, and while the lived experience that I've had to deal with for the past several years
and many in the community have had to do to be, and they're effective mental health board members, we literally need the professional help on the board as decision makers. So again, please do the right thing. Arumua and Cotter for the 4-year terms. Dr. Wright for the unexpired terms through the end of 2027. And finally, something that was said on Friday that I take great exception to, listening to Supervisor Shaw saying the reason she has people against her is because it's a racial issue. That is not true. That is not true. Nobody looks upon you because you're a person of color, just as nobody looks at my Hispanic ethnicity. With your success and integrity, you make success for the entire township. That's what I did as a mental health board president. That's what you can do as a supervisor. Please do so tonight. Thank you.
Sanchez?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor and Trustees. Jared Sanchez. I think you all know me. I was here last week calling Madam Supervisor for your resignation, and I would repeat that call for the reasons that I stated last week, as well as for others that I've been given since then. Before things get worse, I think just gracefully bowing out would be the best course of action. But I'm really here tonight to talk about the Mental Health Board. As has been discussed already, there are 3 empty seats to fill. I know you've been trying to only fill 2 of those seats with the least qualified applicants. We do have 3 seats to fill tonight. I insinuated a couple weeks ago that you were colluding with the GOP, the local party, based on the information that I had seen, the actions that you had taken and others as well. Now it's proven from your own words, from your own actions of being on that podcast video that Mark talked about. You're openly working with Joe Connell of the GOP, precinct committee person who I hear has aspirations to become their president. So again, I'm saying things based on essentially logical fact, and they're all showing up to be true. One thing that was mentioned is taxes is the reason why you wanted to put the 2 least qualified people on the mental health board. I can tell you that even if you put 3 tax-hungry people on the mental health board, there's a good pattern that has already been established with that board of creating a business case for any increase or decrease in the tax levy. And it requires full participation and vote from your board as well. And I know that they don't want to approve some huge levy that they're going to regret later on. So going forward, this pattern of presenting a business case for any increase or decrease is the pattern that's set. And the idea that Joe Connell's going to have to increase his rental property rents because the mental health board is going to jack up the taxes is a ridiculous slippery slope argument. I don't expect him to understand that, but you sitting in that seat, I absolutely expect you to see through that fallacy. Now, somebody mentioned compromise appointments. You had 2 full terms to fill. I think a really smart compromise. This is coming from putting on my other hat as 9 years on the county board with some really high level stuff. Those 2 top qualified people in the full term seats, and then offer the board to say, hey, can I have one of mine? The most qualified or the least qualified, Ken Schaefer, on for the unexpired 2.5-year term. I think you're going to have a little better chance at that approach than what you've been trying. Accountability is something, a word that keeps popping in my head. I've been seeing that passed around in discussions on this issue. And I guess that's my question. Where is the accountability for you and Mr. Connell to actually do your jobs? There is none. That's why we are here, spending our time that we could be doing other things with, pressuring you to just do the right thing. And I know it's difficult when people come up here and give you pressure, but at the county, when I'm there and people come and give public comments, I give them full eye contact the entire time. And I don't think you've looked at any of the speakers here tonight once. And that says a lot.
I'm going to pass because everybody said what I was going to say anyway.
Oh, okay. John Egan?
So good job, guys.
Yes, hello, I'm Danny. Most things have been said, but I did have one comment. I too saw that video, and I thought it was really weird. Apparently what we got going here is the Republican guy is refusing to come to work to make sure that you can't get anything done, and he's going to continue to not go to work until you turn over that board to the Republicans, regardless of how the Democrats voted. And it seems like you're going along with that. And that's not right. So don't do that.
That's all for public comment.
Okay, then I'll close this portion of the meeting. We will now move to reports. Sheriff?
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's been a while, pardon me. Different faces. My name is Santiago Hernandez. Some familiar, some not. I'm the township deputy for both Dundee and Elgin, and I can't. The other hat that I wear is field training, which I've been doing a whole lot of recently. For those who live within unincorporated Dundee or any unincorporated portion of King County to begin with, all of our stats, all what's going on in your neighborhood, your backyard, behind you, it's all on our website, for those who are wondering. Maybe I brought out the short sleeves a little too soon, but people are outside. People are walking the dogs with their children. We do have about 3 speed trailers in our garage. If you guys know where you need them, please give us a call. I'll leave some contact letters over there. And our number's on there for the non-emergency line. Additionally, I wanted to point out that because we are getting a little bit warmer weather, and I just learned about it a couple days ago after coming back on vacation, is Randall and 72. I think you guys are aware of the construction there, that they're adding additional lanes. So please be mindful of that additional traffic during rush hour. It is a pain. You might see me there every once in a while, pulling people over. Hopefully it's none of you all. That part I won't tell you. But that's all I have. No major significant issues, and I like to keep it that way. I'll stick around as long as I can. You might see me running out of here because I am working the road tonight. So, thank you everyone.
Mr. Caius?
Good evening. I'm Chris Caius, King County board member for District 23, which includes south part of Algonquin and north part of Carpentersville. And this is not just awkward. No, it doesn't get any better, does it?
Try.
There. How about that? Sorry about that. Okay, we have our own microphone things down at the county as well. So, I apologize if I stumble a bit when I start here. Those are some really serious messages from everybody. I appreciate being able to stand up here in front of everybody and talk. It's not always very easy, and there are some very coherent messages, I think, well presented this evening. But I have a few items from the King County that I'd like to update you on, and so it shouldn't take long. Of course, the primary election has started. I want to remind you that it has started as of the 5th of February, and of course it's the King County Clerk that services that, so that's why the county government is involved in it, and that's why I want to remind you of that. There's been a change in the postmark, so make sure that if you're doing your postage, or if you're doing your vote by mail, make sure that you do that early and make sure that it's in the post office at least a week ahead of time before the election, so it's postmarked on time. I also want to announce that I am chairman of the Grand Victoria Riverboat Fund, which is a part of the government that we have the taxes from the riverboat gambling down in Elgin annually, and it's now, the applications are now open. We're accepting applications for community service projects. Usually we tend toward capital, funding capital projects for nonprofits, which apply to usually education, the 3 E's: education, environment, and economy. So if you know of a nonprofit that is looking for funding to support something, that in those, especially in those areas, not always, it's up to the board to decide where they're gonna go. So if it's particularly worthwhile, it isn't necessarily required that it be exactly in those areas. So, but that's going to be in, the deadline is for midnight on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, to have those applications in. I encourage you to do that. You can go to our website and get more information on the application process, or contact me and I'll get you in touch with our administrator for that, which his name is Chris as well. It's Chris Dahl. And so I just want to make sure that everybody was aware of that, because we always have somebody come in last minute and say, oh gee, we were close next year. So this is the year, if you have a project you're interested in. I'm going to leave you with a flyer here on 3 ways to vote that I got at King County Clerk's office as well. It's in Spanish and English. To vote early, vote by mail, and vote on election day for those who need it, the information. And we have a recent publication. It's a trifold by the King County. For those people, that's usually the biggest comment that I get when I do canvass door to door, is what does the county exactly do? And this is a little brochure, nonpartisan, that explains a lot of the activities that we have. We have over 4% of the budget of the tax dollars for our residents, but we provide all of the services, mostly judicial and the sheriff's as well, for public safety. So I'll leave those with you so they can be distributed here as well. So, and thank you. Thank you for your service. It's very important what you're doing here.
Assessor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Bielak, the Dundee Township Assessor.
Uh-oh.
The assessments are going up.
With this?
It's a satisfaction. Last month I indicated we did an internal study and we were estimating an increase of 6.5%. Unfortunately, the county has come back with an official tentative factor of 7.17%. So across the board, all our assessments are going up that much. That does not equate to tax dollars though. That's just the assessment. There's 3 factors to it. There's the property tax rate, property assessment, and the property tax levy, which this board has a portion of, they said, and all the other municipalities and other boards. You know, best guess, you can always look somewhere around 3% as a tax increase. This is an overall estimate on my part. We're not the only ones. We're the second highest. Aurora was the highest at 7.4%. St. Charles, very comparable to us at 6.6% increase. Elgin has 6.5%. And I'm really dismayed with it. I am disappointed because we do have so much commercial industrial in our township now. We have a tremendous amount over the past 10 years of growth. And did not tamper that increase. The county equalizes all the properties in the same pool. They don't separate commercial from residential, and we all count in the same pool. And commercial industrial, when they have a decrease, those are big numbers, it affects the big pool. And unfortunately, that pushes up residential. It's just the way the numbers work. It's unfortunate, but overall, it shouldn't be that bad. It's in the past years, we've had some sizable increases, 11%, 9%, but overall, the tax bills have only been increasing I think 5% was about the highest couple of years back. So that's that. Also, we've been doing some website training. We're going to transition our website towards merge it with the township's overall website. That's going to be an undertaking of ours, and we've had several people join that training, so more heads are better than one in focusing on this. That should roll out this year, should be a slow year, so a good year to roll that out, that transition. We're also out in the fields, the weather's broken a little bit, so we're taking advantage of that. Again, the new construction is now focused primarily in residential, townhomes, single family, and that's about it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Highway Commissioner has already presented his report. Clerk?
No report at this time.
Okay, trustees?
Anything to report?
Mental Health Board. Okay. I wanted to start my report with, I figured out last night that we have just under 65,000 people in Dundee Township, and the levy for the Mental Health Board last year and the last couple of years has been $500,000. That means that on an average, everybody in this township pays $7.69 a year for the mental health services that we're trying to provide. Now, obviously, you're not going to see on your bill a $7.69 bill because properties are all different and different people with different values of property pay different values. But on the average, we are asked to pay $7.69 each over the year to help our fellow residents. Unfortunately, that money that we collected is sitting in the bank, and it's just a little over $700,000 right now in a checking account. We have plans for grants to help teenagers, possibly depressed enough to commit suicide. We have a grant to help toddlers who are struggling. We have grants for adults with dependencies and also with mental health issues and everything. All of those grants, 16 of them, are ready to roll. But we can't approve them because we don't have a quorum and because the supervisor will not appoint qualified people to the board. As I said, we're sitting on this money in the accounts. It's money that's already there. It's not money that is going to be collected from your taxes this year. We need these people on this board. We need qualified people. And we need to help the people in our community. And the Mental Health Board, we met again last week and did not again have a quorum. And we stand ready to do this. We're ready to get this money out the door and get it into the hands of service providers so they can provide the services our residents so badly need. We just need 3 people who are qualified to be on this board. And I'm asking the supervisor to please do that. Amber Cotter, Don Aramura, yeah, there's Amber right there, Don Aramura, and Dr. Michelle Wright. Those were the 3 people we vetted. We also were not able to vet because she appeared at the meeting, but we had no quorum, was Ms. Amelia Velasquez. She does not have a mental health background, however, she has an extensive medical background. The other 2 gentlemen, we did not get Mr. Schaefer's resume or his letter of interest until the day before the meeting, which we could no longer interview him. Mr. Kempf, though, was invited to be interviewed. And he didn't even decline, he just didn't respond at all and didn't show up. So we feel we've done our work. We have 3 extraordinary candidates, 1 very, very strong one. We have people who are ready to step in and do the job that we need to get done in this community. We have the money that's ready to roll. We have a board that desperately wants to get this money out to serve our residents. We need those 3 people. Thank you.
So Trustee Harney, last week you had mentioned that Mr. Schaefer has extensive medical background, but not in mental health. But how is this a change of heart today?
There's no change of heart.
You just mentioned somebody who had medical experience, but not mental health board experience.
She mentioned them at the end.
I mentioned them at the end, and I also, Ms. Velasquez has worked as a public health nurse. She works in the school system. So she's up front and she sees the results of the needs of mental health. Mr. Schaefer, very qualified medical professional. He works in the emergency room and manages emergency room operations at Lutheran General. That's an entirely different type of medicine very important. He's a, as far as I know, an excellent provider. He does not have the background that we need for this. And he certainly does not have the background of either Ms. Cotter, Dr. Wright, or Ms. Armira.
And what are your qualifications?
Mental
Trustee
health, mental health credentials. That's the qualifications.
What are your qualifications?
My qualifications are that you appointed me and that I sit on this board as a liaison. That's my
I
qualification.
appointed you for interim.
And when I saw how you managed everything, I knew I couldn't be an interim.
And I have one more question. So, how do we direct funds to residents that do not have or cannot afford their copays?
The funds are all directed through providers that apply for those funds for programs that they put together. And the residents do not get funds directly from the mental health board. That's not how it works.
Right.
Right.
But you don't know, you don't actually have a specific program or anywhere specific data to show how many people who cannot afford copays are actually being helped.
Oh, I could provide that for you. I don't have it on my fingertips, no.
Please do that.
I will do that.
Okay, and
Because all those organizations deal with people who can't pay.
And they all give us reports. We get reports.
I don't know
monthly
where
from
she's
the
a supervisor
providers.
at. I'm
Do you
just
not
so
know how this
confused.
works?
I don't understand.
That's right.
You don't know how this works. This is embarrassing.
you're out of order. That is what's embarrassing. You don't understand the quorum.
To see what's embarrassing.
This is not a forum where you just run your mouth.
You know what? I'm the interim, and we're reporting on the mental health board. I'm the interim.
So Trustee Harney, I have one more question for you. So I wanted to know, there's never been a plan presented outside of just wanting to give money away.
That's not true. That is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't have a plan.
Then you haven't looked, because it's there.
Okay, great. So it means it's out
I
there
will meet you in your
somewhere.
office. You tell me when you want me to meet.
You
I
can
will
just
meet
send
you-
it to me. You can email it to me.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay, that'd be great. Yes. And
It rubs off. It's contagious.
I don't want to know how this works.
okay, and next one we have up here is Kirby.
Kirby, you're doing a great job. Good.
Yeah. Breath of fresh air.
Hey, Mark, what's up there? How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me. For those who don't know me, I'm Kirby. I'm the foreman for the open space program. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about the great things that are happening in the conservation world in your local township for just a few minutes. So I have a report. I just really want people to be able to follow along and see some of the photos. They're a little small, but that's all right. Zoom those in. So anyhow, this time of year, the past month has been busy. We're starting to see a little bit of transition to getting to a point with our clearing work, which has been going on since September and October. I'm trying to get projects kind of tied up for the growing season that is just weeks away, and focusing in on certain habitats like wetlands and things like that while the ground was still frozen to be able to get some of the invasive non-native plant species we control and manage out of those areas, and working with some of our great volunteers who are here tonight. Some staff-only projects with me and Dan taking care of things, and then in this past month had a couple contractor outfits out there with us kind of helping us out. So just going to zip through some of these. This is some pictures from Salamander Springs, one of the areas we have. This is kind of in between two pond areas. So ponds and wetlands are kind of high priority for Salamander Springs as far as invasive, non-native management. This is an area we've been working on all winter long with the volunteers. We had a contractor come in for a few days to kind of give us a push, and we're able to get a lot of things cleared out. So you can actually see some of these. You can go to the next page, sorry. You can see where some of these areas have been cleared out, improving trail sight lines. In that right photo, you have a pond to your right, you have a pond to your left. This is kind of a trail that intersects the two, so just getting all the invasive stuff out between those two. And then I can just go down to the next photo. Thanks, Liz. And this is kind of exciting. This is a vantage point never seen before at Salamander. With all this effort, we've been able to open up views into the pond in the background. That's kind of the center, kind of icy area in the center of that photo. I'm standing from that trail that was in the previous photo, so this area, I don't have a before picture of this particular shot, but this area, you had no view of that wetland area in that pond, so it's nice to see this kind of area get opened up. And then we'll just go to the next page. And it's, similar things happening at Dixie. Again, have the volunteer crew out here working down by the tributary creek, Wilson Creek, and then have crews working adjacent to one of the dry gravel prairies out there, which is always a high priority site to keep invasives from encroaching on that area. So crew doing a good job out there, cutting some big stuff out there. This is an area we've never got into before. So we can go down to the next picture. So you get some pretty large buckthorn. Everybody knows what buckthorn is, but we're used to seeing it a little bit shorter. This is actually probably a 35 foot tree. You're multi-stemmed, so it's not like cutting one tree. It's like cutting 6-7 trees at a time. So it takes a lot of work to get those removed. So that's kind of what's been happening at Dixie in part. I'll get more to Dixie later. Let's keep it going. Scroll down. So this is over at Library Springs. Again, doing some work down in the wetland areas. And then above the wetland, as you get higher above it, into like oak meadows and some open meadow areas. So again, working with volunteers, and Dan and I doing that. You can kind of see before and afters, left and right side. You get a little bit of clearance out there. You can see down into the oak meadow a little bit more, and then you can scroll down to the next set of photos. You can see this is a view, same view. The snow has melted by this time. That's why we're trying to get that wetland work wrapped up. Just the brush removal adjacent to a nice, seepy wet area. So again, a lot of the stuff we're doing now kind of allows us to access and sets up the stage for growing season tasks. So coming in with herbicide treatments and seeding and all that type of stuff. All right, we can scroll down. All right, getting back out at Helm Prairie now. So exciting shot. Doesn't look as good here, but it's exciting when it happens. Some of these people can tell you that, but when we bust through a dense thicket of invasive, non-native brush, and we open that view out to the prairie that's just on the edge of this woodland, that's always an exciting moment for us. So little simple pleasures. And then just keep going, let's scroll down. Again, just working in wet area. Oh, yeah. Oh, again, yeah. So, and then, Dan and I going around doing some projects on our own. This is a storm damaged tree. It's actually a big double forked elm, came down, fell on 2 other trees, broke and bent those. So this was quite a mess to clean up, but, important to do it for safety. Got trails nearby and things like that. We can scroll down. Again, just focusing on wetland areas. This is along Dixie Creek. We're looking down at the creek, riparian area adjacent to the creek. Working to get more non-natives and invasives away from the creek. And then we can keep doing this. And similar down by that Dixie Creek again, looking a little bit northwest towards the wetland, the sedge meadow area. The picture on the left is a native walnut tree. Everything around it is honeysuckle and bittersweet. We'd love to get rid of those 2 things. So that's what we did, and that's the picture on the right. So looking a little cleaner. And we can keep going. And then, Dan and I love doing trail edge work because it means we don't have to go maintain these trails during the growing season that are constantly encroaching on. So we get kind of the invasive brush on the edge of the trails, push that back, it opens up the prairie, it opens up sight lines to the trails. This particular one, this is at Raceway, the Ranch Road Prairie. We actually found an oak amongst all that stuff, so that's always exciting. Another simple pleasure, we keep scrolling. in that same area, kind of surgically removing invasives and leaving a nice native cover of dogwood, great bird habitat, small critter habitat. And then my last thing for the night, keep going down. So happy to report, this is the big project happening out of Dixie right now. This began last year. This is expanding the West Prairie. You can see kind of a red, that yellow section is everything that's been cleared to date. The initial phase was that red line, everything to the right of that. And then what recently has been done in the last couple of weeks is everything in between that, going all the way up to the north there. So it was about an 8-acre project, a little over 8 acres. We got about 6 acres cleared so far. A lot is being paid through grant money. This is just a great project. This has been talked about for years at Dixie. You can scroll down, Liz. Just really expanding on the original prairie that was there. All those wood chips is all brush. It's all buckthorn, honeysuckle, the usual stuff we go after. It's all been cleared out by some mechanized machinery. Actually, one guy did this over 4 days. Cleared a little over 4 acres. Still has some follow-up chainsaw work to do and things like that. The next phase here is to go in, put in native seed, and then have a contractor to help staff out, and we'll do follow-up herbicide treatments, and again, just try to expand this prairie. And then just go to the last set of photos. So, just wanted you to see some aerial photos where that green arrow is pointing. Well, where the arrows are pointing are the project sites. This is what Dixie looked like in 1939. That's the latest, the most latest photo you get, or the earliest photo. And you can see kind of the transition into 1980. Starts to get a little brushier. You have row crops around, but you don't have the West Prairie itself being farmed. We think it was probably more grazed. You can scroll down this. And then you see by 1996, now that whole prairie is full of brush. All the invasive species you guys all know about. And we can scroll again. And now coming up to 2010 now, this is after the open space program has taken effect. An initial mechanized clearing in that prairie. And you can see the prairie that exists today, opening up, and where that arrow is, you can start to see that, and you'll really see it on the next photo. Keep going. So here you can see that brush line that's grown in with, buckthorn, honeysuckle, bittersweet, autumn olive, go on and on and on. So dense in there on sunny days, light doesn't even reach the ground. Nothing grows down there. In a very sick-looking area. So that's where this project comes in. And we're working over a period of a few years to get that cleared out, followed up with seed, native plant installations, all that good stuff. Eventually get prescribed burns going through there and expand that nature preserve. And I believe that is it. So, we'll have more exciting things to happen as we get into spring. But that's all I have for today. Thank you very much, Melissa.
Volunteer hours. How many do you get each year estimated, and how much does it save the township?
I think I have that data, I just don't have it.
Okay, no problem.
I think we're into, with last year, and don't quote me on the figures, I think we were over 600 hours maybe. That might have equated to maybe $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in savings. I don't know what the rate is per.
Can I answer that?
She
it's
can,
over 1,000 hours for field
there you go. She
restoration.
can answer it perfectly.
Thank you.
1,000, you said?
It's
Yeah.
over 1,000 hours.
Nothing happens without the volunteers. The volunteers are awesome.
You guys are incredible.
So they do great stuff.
Give a shout out. I think we should give a shout out to the Friends of Dundee Natural Areas as well, which, full disclosure, I'm a part of that and a founding member, but it's not only the thousands of hours, it's tens of thousands of dollars worth of seed, and it's literally, I think, over $100,000 worth of grants. That work that was done up there was, I think, entirely paid for with grants. Is that right, Sue?
Yes.
Yeah, no tax dollars went into all that clearing. That is entirely the product of fundraising by FD&A and donations by FD&A. So, go ahead.
The 6 acres so far is close to 45,000. That is a gift to the township.
And
Get that work done.
just in case you think it's just the plant geeks that are benefiting from this, I want you all to know that the honeysuckle that goes out of there is a prime habitat for deer ticks. And deer ticks, we see 40% drops in deer tick populations for areas that are clear to that honeysuckle. And deer ticks are the carriers of Lyme's disease. So this is a huge public health benefit as well, not to mention the erosion control and everything else, which I will not go chapter and verse anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirby. You're quite well versed, and I appreciate your Friday Fun Facts. I've never once had to ask Kirby for it. He always initiates it and gives it to me. In fact, this last President's Day, we got a bonus, which was well liked by a lot of people. And I never have to proofread. So that's brilliant. Thank you, Kirby. I just wanted to point out today that for a mental health board administrator, I'm not sure if the administrator is bilingual or not, but if the administrator was bilingual, her outbursts would probably be in 2 different languages. Her outbursts caused mental distress. She had a EAGA person that came in here with problems. She actually made sure to let them know her problems, that we were making her work from a closet.
This
This
is
is inappropriate.
Why are
This
we
is
not following
personnel.
the agenda?
Is this on the agenda?
Because it's
Shefali?
always
Is it on the
outbursts,
agenda?
always.
Is it on the agenda?
How do you have a mental health board administrator
Aren't
that
we
causes
supposed to
people
follow the
distress?
She's on supervisor's report technically, is what she's.
Is this pertinent to?
Your threshold for patient is slim to none, and that's not a single person that is employed by Dundee Township behaves in that manner.
Except for you. Oh my God.
That concludes the reports for tonight's meetings. The next,
What about cemetery?
oh, cemetery has report?
Yeah.
Okay, we were not told about that. Okay, go ahead.
Right here.
This is report.
Members of the board, supervisor. Members of the board, supervisor, thank you. For the new faces that haven't seen me yet, I'm Eric, the cemetery manager. I want to thank everybody and the speeches for today. Kind of difficult to just give a regular speech with hearing everything that's going on and the weight in the room. Did want to address that being the cemetery manager, suicide is a very serious issue. I've had relatives that have succumbed to that, unfortunately, and seeing it live at a cemetery, I know how much weight that can hold. My apologies that I am not able to make it to every single meeting. I have 2 young kids of my own and handling a second job. And handling this cemetery is a very great honor of mine. If I'm ever not able to make a report, gladly my assistant manager, Benji, can go ahead and report for me.
I'll be here and I'll make great for you guys.
And I would appreciate it that if any misinformation were to spread out there, that you can simply reach out to the cemetery manager for information, and we'll gladly welcome you with open arms so we can talk about anything that goes on at the cemetery or gladly show you around. For my cemetery report from November 19th to February 18th, we've had 28 burials, 19 new grave sales, 10 new cemetery deeds issued, and sales and transaction totaling an amount of $20,742.54. Slight update from an accident that happened a few months ago on Route 25 and 72 at the intersection. That fence, section of fence that got hit. The repair has been done and is concluded, so that's all up and running. And
That concludes my report.
That concludes reports, and we'll close that section. Next item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve January 21st, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented?
I'll motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Fiximer. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake? Yes. Trustee Fitzmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. Okay, the motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Is there a motion to approve February 11, 2026 special meeting minutes as presented?
I'll motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Harney. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fitzmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. The motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Is there a motion to approve February 11, 2026 executive session minutes as presented?
A motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Fiximer and seconded by trustee Day. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fitzmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion carries and the minutes are approved as presented. Next, we have approval of treasurer's report. With us this evening to present the treasurer's report is Mr. Coughlin from Government Accounting LLC. Mr. Coughlin, thank you for being here. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So we're winding down our fiscal year. Next month we'll finish that out. But through January, for the 11 months, the township has brought in just shy of $5.1 million of revenue. That's at 91% of the total budget, so right on track where we'd expect to be. On the expense side, total expenses in general, about $4,056,000. That's at 72% of the budget, so about 19% lower than we would anticipate to be this far into the year. So overall, all of our major funds are showing a surplus of some sort, giving us a current surplus of $1,036,148 and an ending fund balance of $5,952,626. So we'll see that spent down slightly in that last month of the fiscal year, along with some fund transfers with those net to zero effect overall as we look to manage the various funds. Just to point out, our bank balances are sitting at $6,242,426. And then, should I read through the bill totals now or on the next one?
Well, let's get a motion to approve the treasurer's report first.
Are there any questions on the report?
Thank you for
Let's
putting
get
page
a
numbers.
motion.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Drake. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fitzmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion carries and the treasurer's report is hereby approved as presented. We will move on to audit and approval of bills. Mr. Coughlin, could you please present the bills?
Sure. So the bills listing that I'm going to read totals from is from January 17th to February 12th. So that's from the day after the day after the last set of reports for last report meeting up until the day that I provided this report. So on the mental health fund, total bills were $82,448.74. For cemetery, $22,323.76. There were no bills for the clerk. GA, we have $1,729.65. The assessor, $5,993.51. Open space was at $3,004.13. Supervisor, $14,462.85. And then road and bridge in total was $23,446.54.
Is there a motion to approve payment of payroll and bills for road district, general assistance, mental health board, and town fund as presented? You don't have
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Day, seconded by trustee Harney. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion should we make the motion?
Motion carries, yeah, that motion
All
carries.
right, the motion carries and the payment of payroll bills for the Road District General Assistance Town Fund is approved as presented. Okay, so,
I need to make a motion here because we were missing one bill for work that's been done. So I move to approve the invoice from our Borico Nursery in the amount of $12,000. And this is for, I believe, the clearing that was done up here. Did y'all hear that?
And it's part of the grant agreement, right? So
Yes, it's part of-
You're
yeah.
gonna get reimbursed, just so
Yes.
you
Yeah, this is a
So, do we have
pass-through.
a motion?
FD&A is paying for it.
get a second and then.
I'll second it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, is there a discussion?
Yeah, you gotta-
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes, the motion carries, and Arborico Nursery in the amount of $12,000 is approved as presented. The next item on the agenda is executive session.
Yeah, I'll be so kind as to read what I propose, and then
Sure.
we can get it so moved. I will
Okay.
make you all read this. So I would propose that the board adjourn to executive session for two reasons. One would be pursuant to section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act in order to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the township, and section 2C3 of the Open Meetings Act in order to consider the selection of a person to fill a public office, including a vacancy in a public office when the public body is given the power to appoint under law or ordinance, or the discipline, performance, or removal of the occupant of a public office when the public body is given the power to remove the occupant under law or ordinance. Sorry, it's very long-winded. So get a motion.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Is there a okay, the motion is made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Drake. Okay, is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. Okay, the motion carries and we are adjourned. Please clear the room
No, we're adjourned. We're adjourned.
To executive
to
session.
executive
Okay.
session. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to the meeting at 8:55 PM for the regular session of the Township Board meeting today. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Here.
Trustee Drake?
Here.
Trustee Fixmer?
Here.
Trustee Harney?
Here.
Supervisor Shaw?
Here. Okay, so the session is back in and we have a quorum. I will withdraw for the time being my appointments for the Mental Health Board and will present them at the next meeting, hopefully sooner than later. The next item on the new business is appointment of Deputy Township Clerk. I'm seeking a motion to approve Resolution 218, on 2/18/26, a resolution authorizing appointment of Deputy Clerk as presented.
And to appoint.
Oh, and to appoint Katie Began as Deputy Township Clerk. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion is made by trustee Day and seconded by trustee Fixmer. Is there a discussion?
I would,
Ma-
oh, go ahead, if you want to do it. I was going to.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd be happy to not cut you off, I'm sorry, trustee, but I was going to propose that we strike section 3 from that resolution regarding compensation, giving the next items on the agenda. So as a friendly amendment, we would need to get the concurrence of the trustee Day and trustee Fixmer. Looks like we got it. So any
Okay.
other discussion?
All right, any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
No. Okay, the motion carries and the resolution is hereby approved as presented. The next item on the new business is consideration of hiring interim township administrator, Katie Began. Can we get a motion?
I'll
So-
motion. Sorry.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. So the motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Day Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
No. The motion carries and is hired, and Katie Began is hired as interim township administrator as presented. The next item on the new business is appointment of a FOIA officer. State law requires the board designate one or more of officials to act as its Freedom of Information Act officer. I move to appoint Katie Began as the township FOIA officer.
So moved.
Second.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, is there a discussion? The motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Day. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
No, the motion carries and the appointment is approved as presented. The next item in new business is appointment of an OMA officer. State law requires that the board designate one or more officials to act as its Open Meetings Act officer. I move to appoint Katie Began as a township OMA officer. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is made by trustee Drake and seconded by trustee Day. Is there a discussion?
This might sound like a lot on Katie Began, but we need an administrator in the office, and she's our choice.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
No. The motion carries and the appointment is approved as presented. Is there a motion to table the next item on new business until, what is that?
No, so this is, strike that, it's this one.
Okay, the next item on the new business is approval of agreement with Red Buffalo Nursery for Dixie Briggs Farm Nature Preserve. Trustee Harney, please provide a report.
I can do it too if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sorry.
Because
this is
I
what I'm
wasn't
calling-
prepared to do this.
No, so this is another item where this is an agreement, I believe that it's also related to the same clearing that was discussed earlier this evening. And so this is an agreement, I believe the amount is $9,000, thank you. Right, and so it's another agreement that will be reimbursed. So the township disperses the money, but it gets reimbursed by FD&A, pretty properly after that. So it's not real dollars. So, but because it comes through, this board has to approve it. So that's why this is on the agenda this evening.
Okay, so can we get a motion to approve the agreement with Red Buffalo Nursery for Dixie Briggs Farm Nature Preserve as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
The motion is made by trustee Drake and seconded by trustee Day. Is there a discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Wait a second. There is a discussion. Who's going to sign it? Will you sign it?
I already did. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just sitting on my desk.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion, well, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Day?
Yes.
Trustee Drake?
Yes.
Trustee Fixmer?
Yes.
Trustee Harney?
Yes.
Supervisor Shaw?
Yes. The motion carries and the agreement with Red Buffalo Nursery for Dixie Briggs Farm Nature Preserve is approved as presented. Is there any other business that any member of the board wishes to bring forward? Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so the motion is made by trustee Harney and seconded by trustee Day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it, and we are adjourned at 9:01 PM.
Well, all things considered, y'all, that wasn't that bad.